Hello, hi, it's me again, Shalligators. You ready for another Kourtney Kardashian rant? Great. Me and my big ass light bulb head are here to give us stereo. So last time we all convened here on this channel, we were talking about, I guess it was Kim and Pete and whether or not Pete was quitting SNL for love. So that was interesting. Go listen to that. I mean, of course I'm going to say it's interesting. Hello. But before that, we talked about Kourtney Kardashian's tacky little garbage pile of a wedding. Today, we're going to talk about the thing that rankles us, I think, the most about Kourtney and Travis, because at this point, I don't know that I've ever done such a 360 on a topic. Whereas I started out really, it was like so pro Kravis, like, yay, like get your yayas out, girl. You've been in this toxic ass relationship with Scott Disick for a decade. All the high fives, go be a hoe, go fall in love, have a crazy life. To you two make my skin crawl. You make my skin crawl. I feel unclean. I'm going to cleanse myself with fire. I feel disgusting. I don't know that I've ever really come that 180. We're going to talk about the thing we hate the most. The thing that makes me twitch. The PDA. The PDA. The endless Frenching. The wide open mouths. The implied finger blasting at a dinner table. Why is this so disgusting to us? Well, someone left a comment on a video. At first I thought it was on my video, but I don't think it is. I think it was on like an Entertainment Tonight video or something that truly, I think, sums up why this is like so gross. But we're also going to talk about PDA in general. How to know if you are committing Kourtney level sins. Ooh, are you? And what to do if you're on the other side, where you have somebody in your life who just won't get a room. They just won't. What do you do? And like, what does this mean? Is there some sort of psychological thing going on underneath PDA? We're going to talk about it. Because why the hell not? Okay, but before we get started, yes! Ooh, sorry, I kicked my mic stand. I'm so excited. All my limbs are flailing. We have our trip to Paris. It's out, it's here, it is ready for all of us. I think we're actually already half booked, which is crazy. Like, you guys, every time I launch a trip, I'm like, I've never seen it sell this fast. I've never seen it sell this fast. And you keep beating the record. Like, our trip hit the minimum number last night, like less than 12 hours after it launched. So that means we're gonna have a pretty badass group of girls. It's gonna be so much fun. We're going to Paris and Versailles and the Champagne region next April. Tell me actually in the comments, like, I was kind of afraid to launch this trip. I didn't know if it was going to be too far out, but I feel like this is almost like better for you guys. I travel so much, so I'm kind of like a last minute traveler. I'm just used to it. And like my job allows me to be flexible and stuff. But typically, tell me how far in advance you guys plan trips. Like, are you just not even thinking about trips in 2023? Or are you like, no, like, now is actually the time to put something on my schedule, start saving my money, ask for the time off. Let me know, because I want to, like, we know what trips we're going to launch. So I don't know if you guys want to know too, and we can all just spend some time getting excited. Speaking of trips, we have a Shalligator getaway that I am embarking on this Saturday. Our Costa Rica trip is kicking off. And so I'm going to try to do some videos to release next week when I'm going to be tied up with my 20 Shalligators. We're going to have so much fun. I'm thinking about doing a grad week. Like, I know so many of you guys are graduating and there's so much stuff on your mind. So I've got a few videos planned, but tell me down in the comments, like, what's on your mind, grads? What's on your mind? And even if you're not graduating, sometimes the summer is just a time to reset, but I do want to hear from grads. Like, are we talking about like burnout after college and you're just like, oh, so spent. And then it's like, holy shit, I have to like jump into this corporate thing. How to adjust from your entire existence of being a student and now you're a working girl? What? So all of that we can cover, plus anything else you guys want to know. So go ahead and leave the comments. Okay. Kourtney and Travis. I want to read this comment. It's so good. And thank you to my fan account, Shallon Lester, for finding this and posting it, because it's tremendous. Okay. So Kourtney and Travis. So before I read this comment, a little background if you guys haven't seen the most recent episode of their show on Hulu, because why would you? You're probably out living a full and rich and healthy life, not me. But in it, she's like Frenching all over the place with Travis Barker, and her youngest son, Rain, who is 7, that's pretty young, is like, man, stop it. Like, stop Frenching. Like, He's like, stop, like it's gross. Now she's got 3 kids. She's got 7-year-old Rain, 9-year-old Penelope, which one time one of my non-English speaking friends called someone named Penelope, and I cannot say anything but Penelope, like for the rest of my life. Penelope, I almost died. And then Mason, who is 12 and doing great. Mason's doing great. He's not at all absorbing all of the anxiety and toxicity. Not at all. So she's got 3 kids and they are pretty fucking sick of her Frenching with Travis. So this guy, Chuck, or somebody named Chuck, left a comment on a video. Sorry, I keep kicking this thing. I do this for a living. You'd think I could like have spatial awareness. Left a comment on a video of like, I guess a recap of the show. He said, Kourtney doesn't care for anyone but herself. She sets boundaries with everyone, but she can't grasp the concept that this PDA is going too far in front of her children when it doesn't take a genius to notice that they are clearly uncomfortable. She needs to grow up. Her actions do not affect her and her only. She's a mother before being a girlfriend. Wow. I think this is so incredibly insightful. I think this is so insightful. She has boundaries for everyone else, right? I mean, isn't that after we say Ben broth, matcha, gluten, boundaries? Like these are, it's like Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Like these are her pronouns. Her preferred pronoun is boundary and matcha. And we have stand Kourtney in the past for her boundaryness. And I still do, you know, I still think, look, all celebrities are here on this channel. They're just a vehicle. They're a spoonful of sugar that makes the medicine go down, right? They're just a thing we use to kind of get some context for issues and learn a little bit about it. God, I look bad. Who fucking cares about their life? Like, who fucking cares? So while we can look at her and be like, yes, like she is an example of someone who's not afraid to set boundaries, that's great. Is she an example of someone who can set those boundaries with herself? Because we've talked about boundaries a lot here on this channel, like a lot. Maybe my pronouns are boundaries. And like Shawn Mendes and the seagull sound when Britney uses too many emojis. Anyway, we talk about boundaries. And I always encourage you guys, listen, you can try to set as many boundaries as you want with your sister and your parents and your roommate who eats the peanut butter. If you are not walking it like you talk it, if you don't have a life of discipline yourself, people are going to know that. They're going to know you're phony baloney and they're not going to respect your boundaries. And if anything, they're going to resent them and purposely try to breach them because fuck you, right? And it's much easier to set boundaries when we are in the habit of doing it ourselves. We are the harshest person to deal with. We have so many, you know, loopholes to do what we want to do, so many excuses, so many lies we tell to ourselves. I don't need to go to the gym because sometimes people go there and they get ringworm. So I don't think that's like for me. I think I should just binge watch this show about baking, right? Right? When we can look at ourselves and be like, you're not going to get ringworm. Get your ass to the gym. Bring some Clorox wipes. Come on. Then, because we're with ourselves 24/7 and our excuse machine is firing 24/7, you know, certainly around the clock. When we're used to doing that, we're not going to accept bullshit from anyone else. We're not going to hold ourselves to a life of discipline and then let other people come in here and be like, well, okay. That's going to feel real foreign. That's going to feel very uncomfortable. Like, no. This is one of these things is not like the other and it's your ass. Bye. It's just like when we're really healthy, we notice the bad eating habits of like our friends. You know, it's like, good God, she ate that whole thing. Not like we should call them out. That's not what I'm saying. But we are on a different path now. We're on a different plane of discipline and responsibility, and things that no longer align with that vibration really, really stand out. Oh, sorry, I just got my lashes done and like, do yours ever just get so itchy? Make me insane. So Kourtney to me just seems completely full of shit. And I feel like every time I talk about her, I end up saying that phrase. Hypocrite, hypocrite, hypocrite. From things like we're vegan or he's vegan, but wears all leather. from, you know, respect and boundaries to showing your labia in a Catholic themed ceremony when you're not Catholic. Even if you're Christian Orthodox, you still don't wear that during one of the ceremonies. The whole thing, it's just like, she can do whatever she wants. I remember at the Met Gala when they were interviewing her and she wore that Ace bandage diaper contraption. And whoever was interviewing was like, the theme was gilded glamour. That was the theme. Blake Lively understood the assignment, okay? She basically dressed as a Statue of Liberty, oxidizing before our very eyes. They asked Kourtney, like, well, you know, when you first heard the theme, what did that mean to you? And she's like, I didn't like really think about it. And I guess I don't care. That's nice. Someone invites you to a theme party. You don't give a shit about the theme. Are you gonna come dressed like 50s to an 80s party? Do you know what I mean? Like, that to me is so incredibly disrespectful. Yeah, it's the Met Gala, but like, it's someone's party and they went to a lot of trouble to make this theme a thing. Like, it makes me crazy if I throw a theme party and people don't show up. Like, I mean, when you don't adhere to a dress code, why am I the most gassed up about a dress code not being enforced? I'm sorry. I'm working through it. I'm trying to do it in real time. So yeah, I see a pattern of Kourtney dishing it out, but not being able to take it. Not at all. Walking it like she talks it. And the PDA is part of that. And you know, this guy who commented, like, she needs to grow up. It clearly makes her children uncomfortable. She is a mother before she's a girlfriend. Interesting. I was actually talking to my friends about this because they have kids and they have kids like about Rain's age, like 7, 8 and whatever. And I'm like, do you guys like French in front of your kids? And they're like, no, like we hug, you know, we'll cuddle, we'll like smooch and kiss, maybe like a long lingering kiss, but I'm not straddling Tyler on the sofa in front of our daughters. Like, no. And we got into a discussion about like, you know, on one hand, you want children to see a healthy, affectionate relationship. And that's what Kourtney kept saying. Like, it's fine. And she's like literally like reverse cowgirling Travis on a sofa. You're like, okay. Like, yeah, you want kids to be like, hey, mommies and daddies love each other. Like, this is healthy. You want to model that. On the other though, like, is it sexualizing the children? I don't know. I'm not a child psychologist. Maybe there's like a literal like age where like, no, they shouldn't see this, or maybe there's not. I don't know. If you guys have any familiarity with this, tell me. It seems we as a nation, as a world, as a society, have started to confuse intimacy with rudeness and vice versa. People who pee with the door open in front of their boyfriend? Well, Shallon, I do that. Well, you're gross. That is not intimacy. That's rudeness. Yeah, everybody pees. Exactly. Exactly. Everyone does it. Do you need to talk about it on a date? Do you need to do it in front of each other? I don't know. I was raised by genteel Southern women. That is not how we behave. Not even with each other. Like, that's just not everything that you do needs to be out in public. And I know. I'm a YouTuber. I share the vast majority of my life. I have talked to you guys about terminating a pregnancy, about suicide. Like, I have shown the nitty gritty. You never seen me pee though. There's no real didactic need there. There's nothing we're all going to learn. There's nothing we need to commune about. And I kind of wonder if PDF is much the same. But counterpoint, you could say, well, no, children do need to see an affectionate couple. Is there a line though that you're like, that's not appropriate? It's not necessary. And maybe what it is laziness. Is laziness. And maybe, you know, it's like we just can't keep our hands off each other. Try. There's days I don't even want to get up and walk to the bathroom. If I'm like cozy in bed, do I ever just pee all over my bed? No, I don't. Like, that would be a demented, insane thing. To me, that's kind of under the same umbrella to a degree. What I also think Kourtney is doing with this is what she does with everything else. It's a fuck you. Fuck you and your theme of the Met Gala. Fuck you and your religion. Fuck you and that Italy isn't my own personal Disneyland to like cosplay and exploit as I see fit. Fuck you, boundaries. I get to have them. You don't get to have any. Not even my children. That's not great. So let's talk about PDA. Was that the worst part of your day just now? Listening to me whistle? It felt great to do it. I was like, ooh, I like this. Like I feel good. That is what PDA is. It's like whistling. It's great for the person doing it, and it is an absolute hellscape for everybody else. Right? It's awful. It's so annoying. If you're someone who's engaging in PDA, I want you to hear me. You don't realize how much you're doing. You don't really realize how much you're doing. If your hands, here's a good metric. If your hands touch your partner below the waist near their no-no parts, front or back, the front fanny or the back fanny, okay? That's bad. Your boyfriend doesn't need to have his hand on your ass at a party. He doesn't. He doesn't need to be doing that. He doesn't need to be sliding his hands all over your thighs. You can save it. Unless you want me to pee in the middle of the dance floor because, oh, I'm sorry. Are we just all doing what we feel with our bodies? Oh, no, you can though, but I can't. Okay, interesting. If you can't go more than 15 seconds without touching each other in public, where there's a group setting, if you're at the grocery store, whatever, hold hands, who the fuck cares? But if you're around other people, people don't like it. They don't think it's cute. They don't. They find it very off-putting and it makes everybody uncomfortable. People don't want to be around you. They don't want to be around you. You know what they also don't want? They don't want to hear about it. I had a friend, she started dating this guy who was a nightmare. And she like took him home to her parents' house for the weekend or something. And like they were out of town. And then we came to visit a few weeks later and she's like, we fucked there and we fucked there and we fucked there. She was 32 years old. Yeah, no, this wasn't we were 15. She was 32 years old. And we were like, can you stop it? Can you not? We get it. I get it. You get it. We've all got vaginas. He's got a penis. We put them inside each other. It's mayhem. We got it. The thing is though, this was basically her first boyfriend. So her doing that, we all looked at each other like, maybe when we were 16, we would have said something like that, but like not even. But for her, like it was so incredibly juvenile and that's how it reads. It does. It reads at best as off-putting and gross, and at worst, a fuck you to people and extremely juvenile. I didn't want to know where like bodily fluids had been in this house. I don't want to go sit there. There was no place else to sit. And she's like, why don't you sit? I'm like, I'm actually fine. I think I'm just going to stand in the center of the room where no other surfaces can touch me. Thank you. Like, it's a thing that's meant to let everyone know that you're on the outside. That to me is what PDA does. It's a big fucking fortress around you. It means we're over here, you're over there. In like celibate loser land. You're gonna like die alone and stuff. I'm gonna drown in matcha and semen. You can't relate. That's what it feels like. So if you want to alienate everyone you know by doing this thing that ironically you think is going to get you more social inclusion, because look how fucking cool you are. You have the sex wieners. Yep, you know all about them, don't you? You think that that's going to like get you in this like cool club. It is literally the opposite. Literally the opposite. And one of you guys made a comment on the Kourtney and Travis video that I also thought was so insightful. You're like, she's this weird combination of, on one hand, like, we're like teenagers just like fucking and blasting and shocker and like, oh, like leather and like movies. Ah, we're like teenagers, we're crazy. And on the other, we're trying to get pregnant, IVF, we only have one follicle. Like, are you prepubescent or are you elderly? Do you know what I mean? It's this weird brackish confluence of two completely different opposite ends of the spectrum. And part of me wonders if on some level she feels super old, she feels super, super regretful that she wasted literally her entire adult life with Scott Disick, 20 years, right? 20 years with Scott Disick. And now she is desperately, desperately trying to outrun the clock, to try like make up for lost time. Girl, I get it. I get it. After I got divorced, you know, I dated a 21-year-old Ivy League D1 football player. I was completely in love with him. I was, oh my God. It was a drug. It was a drug. And part of, I mean, talk about a hurt locker. He was one of my ultimate hurt lockers because he represented starting over. He was fresh. He didn't have all this baggage. He was not me, which was old, sad, broken down, used up. That's how I felt. I don't feel that way now. I feel younger than I did then. But at the time, like I couldn't resist him because of that. Oh, I had earrings I was going to put on. Oh, the hell with it. And so I kind of wonder if Kourtney's trying to do that. It's like, I have to have another baby to prove I'm still young. Take care of the kids you have. Take care of the kids you have, girl, because you don't seem to be listening to them. You're not listening to their boundaries. I don't know what's going on with... Maybe just focus on what you got going on, okay? Maybe she's trying to have this baby to prove desperately that she's young and doing these other young person things, like wearing just wacky, inappropriate, like labia dresses to a wedding. Like, I'm just wacky. I'm zany, like a teenager. I don't care. Fuck you, mom. Right? It all just seems extremely forced. It seems very, very... It seems like a psychological rat's nest, honestly. It just blows my mind that none of these people seem to be in therapy. I would have a live-in therapist. Hey, Dr. Ellis, I had a weird thought. I have an emotion that I don't love. Could you just like take care of that for me? They'd be like having a witch in your house. It would be fantastic. So what do you do if you're dealing with a PDA-er, a Frencher, a wide open mouther, a finger blaster perhaps, a groper, a dry sexer? What do? A grinder. I think you should call them out. I do. But you know, it's tough because you know what they're going to say is you're just jealous. No, we're not jealous. I mean, workshop the responses. It's like, Kourtney, I love you. I do. I'm so happy you're happy, but truly it makes everyone really uncomfortable when you guys are like that. Sorry you just like don't have love or matcha in your life. Like, sorry you're so full of gluten you can't see what love is. We are vegan lovers. You don't get it. You don't get it. You know my theory. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. People can't change what you don't call them out on or what you don't bring to their attention as being an issue. And all we can do is point something out. Hey, I don't like this. I would really appreciate it if you could like cool it out or like just stick to smooches and not Frenching. It really just makes people uncomfortable and it makes me feel like I can't even like have a conversation with you when you're sitting on someone's lap and like clearly grinding against his wiener. Like, and we need to know what someone's reaction is. If they're going to gaslight us, because that is what that response would be. You're just jealous. No, I'm not jealous. Maybe once upon a time I was. Maybe if you kept things behind closed doors, ironically, I would be far more jealous, far more jealous. Now, I'm grossed out. You make my skin crawl. I don't want this kind of relationship because I don't want to be socially alienated, which is actually what you're careening towards. People are going to stop inviting you to things. It's gross. No one's really into this. Because people who are super into PDA, they're also not present in whatever they're doing. If they're at a party and they're just like groping and grabbing, are they having a meaningful conversation with anyone? No. Are they dancing? Maybe like a grindy, gross dance, you know? No. We have all, have we not all, made a plan with a friend? Oh my gosh, yes, let's go to dinner. It's like, can Chris come? Because then you're the asshole if you're like, no, Chelsea, I really just want to hang out with you. Can we just do a girls thing? Wow. Okay, no, guess you don't like him. Like, maybe I don't. I'm not friends with him. He's literally just part of your own baggage. Like, he's a +1. Right? Or they just show up with this dude and you're like, yay, Robert's here. No, I am so happy he's here at book club. Did you read Where the Crawdads Sing? No, you didn't. Okay, grab some Sauv Blanc, grab a glass of Kim Crawford, Rob. We're so happy to have you. Jess is talking about her fertility issues, but we want to hear what you have to say. It's maddening. So you can approach it from whatever way you think is going to kind of resonate with a friend. Be like, hey, I love that you're in a healthy relationship. But if I ask you to do something, I do just mean you. I want my time with you. You know, he gets you all the time. Like, I really just want to spend time with you. Because again, if you have a friend who's going to be like, well, fuck you if I can't bring him everywhere. That's data. That's data about this person. Maybe she wasn't a great friend, and maybe you were kind of a placeholder friend until she met some guy. You kind of need to know that. So be upfront. Tailor your argument in whatever you think is going to work, whether it's she's super, you know, touchy about social inclusion. Like, hey, yeah, like we kind of don't want to invite you guys to things if you're going to act like that. You're not engaging with any of us. You're not bowling. You're not doing whatever. Like, you're just kind of like sitting there, and it's like, it's uncomfortable, and it's weird for the group. Maybe that will like, oh, throw some water in her face. Especially if you can phrase it like a we, because then it's hard to be like, you're all just jealous. Like, okay, well, I'm single, but like Jordan isn't, and neither is Hunter. And like, they're both like, that's fucking gross. We're so sick of watching Chelsea do this. You know, there's more of a leg to stand on. It's like, no, I have a boyfriend too. I don't bring Vince out and do this with him because it would make people uncomfortable. So, hey, I'm just giving you a note. But if you want to get defensive about it, okay. We need to know where people stand so that we can make decisions about what? Our boundaries. That's right. And you can say exactly that. Okay. If that's where you're at, I get it. You cannot be around him without having some part of him inside of some part of you. So honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to make the party this weekend. No, I don't think I'm going to come to youth group. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. It makes me uncomfortable. And you can say that I'm jealous, whatever. Maybe I am. Sure. Let the baby have its bottle. Maybe I'm jealous, but that's what's authentic to me. And I'm going to honor that. If you want to hang out, if you want to go get mani-pedis next week, oh my God, I would love to see you. Let's do it. But that is kind of where I'm at right now. And if it is because you just got out of a relationship, I had to say that to a friend a few months ago. And I'm like, I honestly, like, I cannot hear about this guy. Like, and this will only last for like 48 hours, but I am really broken up about being broken up with. And it's just, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to like sit here and give you a sour face or see you guys make out and like brood in the corner. I know where I'm at, and I just need like a minute to let the dust settle. It's not you, it's me. So give me a beat and we'll be good. Workshop it, see how it goes. Tell me your thoughts on Kourtney and like the shocker or whatever they're doing. Like I said, join my trip to Paris. It's gonna be so incredible. I'm so excited to see you guys. Head on over to my Instagram, click follow, and I'll see you later, Shalligators.